Welcome to Claws and Crime Chronicles, your chilling portal into the twisted world of true crime. Today, we delve deep into the enigmatic case of Ondrej Rigo, a name that sends shivers down the spine. Born in 1955, this Slovak serial killer and necrophile left a trail of terror across Bratislava, Munich, and Amsterdam from 1990 to 1992. Join us as we unlock the dark secrets of his sinister deeds and explore the mind of a predator who preyed on innocent women. Brace yourself for a gripping journey into the heart of darkness as we unravel the haunting tale of Ondrej Rigo, the embodiment of pure malevolence. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay up to date on all our bone-chilling episodes. Welcome to Claws and Crime Chronicles, where the truth is stranger than fiction. Ondrej Rigo is now serving a life sentence for 9 murders and 1 attempted murder in Slovakia's Leopoldov prison. In addition to being a necrophile and schizoid psychopath, Rigo assaulted women whose head he had mutilated. He is still the most prolific serial killer in Slovak history and the murderer with the greatest number of victims. He may submit a parole application in 2019. Rigo was born on December 17, 1955, in Modra, Slovakia. He has a brother who resides in Germany and is upset with him for the problems he caused him there, as well as a daughter who occasionally visits him in jail. Rigo is of Roma ancestry, according to a local report in SME newspaper. He was placed in an orphanage with his siblings when he was 14 and later transferred to a youth correctional facility. After their father was arrested, they were taken from their mother and spent a year there. His father passed away during a break-in, while Rigo's mother passed away in 2000 after being struck by a car. According to Rigo, both of his parents were good to him and never hit him. Rigo was detained while he was employed at the Hotel Carlton in Bratislava. Prior to that, he completed his gas certificate and worked in the heater room of the Pravda newspaper as well as a hospital on Bezhrukova and Selikova streets. Ondrej Rigo had already had 11 convictions before committing his first murder. He began committing crimes at a young age, primarily breaking into homes. He was last detained by the authorities in Slovakia, then known as Czechoslovakia, from September 28 to December 9, 1989, as a result of the Republic's unauthorized exit. After the fall of the Iron Curtain and end of communism in Czechoslovakia, people were allowed once again to travel freely in Europe, and Rigo continued with his crimes abroad. He left for Vienna on December 9, 1989, the day after he was freed from prison and just 3 weeks after the commencement of the revolution. He obtained a fake Yugoslavian passport there. He later went to meet his brother in Germany. Using a false passport, he requested refuge in Bavaria. However, he was given a 2-month prison term for faking documents by the German authorities. He served his time behind bars in a facility in Bad Reichenhall. Following his release from jail, Rigo made his way from a refugee camp to Munich, where he began his murderous rampage and resumed his burglaries. Ondrej Rigo murdered twice in 3 months after coming in Munich. Helena, a 40-year-old woman, certainly caught Rigo off guard as he broke into her flat. He entered Helena's ground-floor bedroom on the night of June 7 to 8, 1990 by sneaking via a partially open window at an undisclosed location in Munich. She was assaulted by Rigo, who hit her in the head with a 2.5-kilogram metal pipe and covered the top of her body with a blanket. Before leaving, he allegedly stole some portable valuables, although other sources claim he didn't steal anything. He disposed of the murder weapon directly below the bedroom window. Between the last day of June and August 1, 1990, Rigo entered Ilk's Munich apartment through a balcony door that was only partially open and murdered the 28-year-old lady with a metal pipe. Rigo stabbed her in the neck with a screwdriver, most likely during the assault. He then covered the corpse and looked around the home for valuables, stealing a golden necklace and an undisclosed sum of German marks. The German police later discovered the murder weapon and a men's sock at the location of the crime. Rigo traveled to Amsterdam from Munich in October to see his sister Helena. Maria, a 58-year-old woman, and her cats were living alone in Amsterdam. On the evening of September 27, 1990, Rigo broke into her ground-floor apartment through a partially open balcony window and struck her to death with a stone that likely weighed more than 5.5 kilograms, a cobblestone from the sidewalk. He attacked the body after stripping it naked. He robbed his victim once more, this time making off with a camera, a women's watch, 2 crates of coins, and some other items. The next day after the murder, Rigo left for Bratislava, Slovakia. His killings continued with the murder of Teresia, an 88-year-old woman, inside a retirement home in Bratislava, on October 6, 1990. He murdered her with his fist while she was sleeping. The retirement home reported prayer books, rosary, and 4,000 Slovak crowns were missing. Underneath the balcony, the police found some Dutch coins and cigarette butts with Rigo's DNA on them. The bodies of Anna, 40, and her son Uri, 15, were discovered inside a ground-floor apartment in a hostel early on January 3, 1991, in an undisclosed part of Bratislava. Around midnight, Rigo entered the apartment through a window. When Rigo used a wooden stick to crush their heads, the son was sound asleep next to his mother. Anna P. made an effort to keep her son safe. Following that, Rigo attacked her body. Anna, who moved to Switzerland in 1982 with her son and husband, spent just a few days in Bratislava for the new year. On January 9, 1991, Jana, then 31 years old, became the first person to survive Rigo's assault when she repelled him in her likely ground-floor Kutuzova Street flat in Bratislava. She was only able to escape the conflict with a few wounds thanks to her prompt decision to engage in combat and Rigo's selection of a subpar weapon. Through a ventilation window above the door, Rigo entered. He launched an unsuccessful attack, then sped out of the flat. Jana observed that the hand-sewn crotch on Rigo's light blue pants later assisted in identifying him. Such pants were discovered in his closet by the cops. Rigo broke into the neighborhood the night before this attack through another window, but it only led into a small locked storage room. He killed Helena, a 79-year-old woman, on Zarodka Street in Bratislava at an undisclosed time, 3 weeks after his first killing and 2 weeks after the assault on Jana. According to some reports, this was on the same street as the last murder scene, but according to others, it was extremely close to the previous murder location. In this ground-floor apartment, Rigo removed the net from the kitchen window and used a piece of concrete to kill Helena. On July 14, 1991, Henrietta, then 22 years old, was attacked. Rigo entered her Bratislava flat through the window, which she had most likely left open due to the summer's heat. Late into the night, she continued to strum her guitar. She was left for dead after Rigo broke her head, assaulted her, then robbed her. Despite having survived the incident, Henrietta passed away 18 days later. In a different apartment room from Henrietta, her grandmother was fast asleep. She was so deaf that she didn't even hear Rigo abuse her dying granddaughter. The final victim, Matilda, 67, was murdered on March 4, 1992, at a Pavla house on Obchodna Street in the heart of Bratislava. Rigo and his fiancée were seeing a movie at the Dukla, formerly called the YMCA, theater on Ankova Street that evening. He abruptly informed her that he had to attend to something and got off the trolley bus as they were traveling home together. He didn't return until the morning. Ondrej Rigo's regular method of operation, attacks that took place in the middle of the night or extremely early the next morning, played a significant role in his conviction. To avoid leaving any fingerprints during the attacks, he always kept his socks on his hands, hence the moniker the Sock Killer. He would enter apartments secretly, generally through a window, whether they were on the first level, in the basement, or had easy access from the balcony. Using a metal rod, a wooden staff, or a rock, he would always choose ladies who were sleeping alone and beat them to death, always striking the head. The murder weapon is always left at the scene of the crime. He would wrap a blanket across the victim's upper torso when the victim was dead. He would then assault the body, Occasionally, he would further dismember the body while having a sexual encounter. At the crime scenes, he smoked and discarded cigarette butts to the ground. Usually, he took some lightweight valuables from the victims. Rigo offered his 12-year-old daughter some of the things he stole from his victims. Only a few hours after his final murder, Ondrej Rigo was taken into custody by the Slovak criminal police on March 4, 1992. Vasilek and possibly a few other police officers detained him in the Hotel Carlton on Vjezdoslavovo Square in Bratislava, where he was working as an atelier in the cloakroom. He still didn't have his socks on when he was taken into custody, which he had worn during the assault. Later, he would assert that the blood on him was syrup and that the prostitute from the exotic club who arranged for his sperm to be detected on the victims. He claimed he was there accidentally and needed to relieve himself, or that he was inquisitive and peered through some windows to explain his tracks beneath the balconies and cigarette butts. He claimed that women frequently gave him gifts to explain why he had jewels. Because there was some light from a streetlight outside inside the apartment where she struggled with Rigo, Jana, the only survivor of his crimes, could clearly see Rigo's face. Later, she would actually show up to his trial disguised herself with a wig. In the meantime, separate investigations into Rigo's killings were conducted by the criminal police in Germany, the Netherlands, and Czechoslovakia. They only began working together on the case after his arrest. After a trial that lasted 10 days, Ondrej Rigo was condemned on December 7, 1994 by the City Court of Bratislava. He was given a life sentence in Slovakia's third-class prison, which is the facility with the maximum level of security, by a senate presided over by Peter Samko. Rigo made no response when the specifics of his offenses were read to him in court. Throughout the trial, he was sitting stiffly and leaning a little forward, his face remaining expressionless. His file was 5,500 pages long. According to Samko, the punishment was determined based on the 9 killings that were either directly or indirectly established, the very savage manner in which he carried out the murders, the fact that his chances of reintegrating into society are slim, and the unfavorable prognosis. Along with the testimony of 194 witnesses, including witnesses from Germany and the Netherlands, DNA evidence was also provided to the court in the form of blood analysis and analysis of semen from the victims' private areas. Rigo never pleaded guilty to any of the murders, and he does not feel guilty. The verdict of the first-order court has been appealed by Ondrej Rigo. He asserts his innocence in his appeal without providing any supporting evidence. Ondrej Rigo's appeal was rejected and his conviction was upheld by the highest court of the Slovak Republic Senate on February 28, 1996. There isn't any alternative avenue for appeal. Rigo was transported to Leopoldov prison after an unspecified number of years at Ilava prison. Ondrej Rigo is a psychopath, according to court-appointed psychologist Anton Herdik, who created Rigo's psychological profile during the trial. He exhibits excessively impulsive behavior, lacks empathy, and does not respect any social conventions. He is also schizoid and unable to build relationships with people. He is a loner with odd interests and thoughts. Herdik asserts that the combination of his dissociative disorder and schizoid psychopathy makes him a particularly dangerous kind of criminal. His psychological profile indicates that the strangeness, lack of friendliness, and language barrier in a foreign nation may have had an impact on his eventual behavior. Josef Vasilek, Ondrej Rigo's investigator, claimed that he had low IQ and seldom talked. However, according to jail pedagogue Daniel Blako from Ilava, Rigo would often react too aggressively despite generally acting in accordance with prison rules. The likelihood of his rectification is nil, claims Blako. He claimed that Rigo was challenging to speak with because he rarely used whole sentences. The Slovak artist Jana is the only person to survive an attack by Ondrej Rigo. She attended karate classes for several years. Years later, Jana claims she has no psychical trauma from the attack and she is not interested in Ondrej Rigo. Jana never moved from the flat she was attacked in, and as of 2008 she continues to live there. Other sources claim she bought a dog and had to have lights on during the night for 7 years after the attack. Later on, she finally moved out from the apartment. Thank you for joining us on this haunting journey through the dark and twisted tale of Ondrej Rigo. Remember, the world of true crime is filled with chilling mysteries and unsettling stories, and our mission at Claws and Crime Chronicles is to shed light on these enigmatic cases. We hope this episode has sparked your curiosity and left you with a deeper understanding of the complexities of human behavior. As we continue to unravel the darkest corners of the criminal mind, we urge you to stay vigilant and safe. Knowledge is power, and being informed about these cases can help us better protect ourselves and our loved ones. But always remember to approach this content with respect and empathy for the victims and their families. If you found this episode intriguing, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with fellow true crime enthusiasts. Subscribe to Claws and Crime Chronicles for more bone-chilling tales from the world of true crime. Until next time, stay cautious and keep your wits about you. Thank you for being a part of our true crime community.